to share with you a couple of clips from Dwight Eisenhower, if I may. This is Republican President of the United States, Dwight Eisenhower, in his farewell address to the nation in January of 1961 as he was handing the reins of government over to Jack Kennedy.
In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
Now, he went on to say, the speech was much longer than that. Here's a little more of it. This is brilliant stuff from the President of the United States.
As we peer into society's future, we, you and I, and our government, must avoid the impulse to live only for today, plundering for our own ease and convenience the precious resources of tomorrow. We cannot mortgage the material assets of our grandchildren without risking the loss also of their political and spiritual heritage. We want democracy to survive for all generations to come, not to become the insolvent phantom of tomorrow.
This is Dwight Eisenhower talking about the cost of the military-industrial complex. He continues to talk about the spiritual cost of it.
During the long lane of the history yet to be written, America knows that this world of ours, ever growing smaller, must avoid becoming a community of dreadful fear and hate, and be instead a proud confederation of mutual trust and respect. Together we must learn how to compose differences, not with arms, but with intellect and decent purpose.
Sounds like Obama. I mean, can you imagine if Obama said that? Republicans would attack him today. Here's his final comment, again, on the spiritual nature of the destruction of America through the military-industrial complex and how he prays for peace.
May we be ever unswerving in devotion to principle, confident but humble with power, diligent in pursuit of the nation's great goals. To all the peoples of the world, I once more give expression to America's prayerful and continuing aspiration.
We pray.
We pray that peoples of all faiths, all races, all nations may have their great human needs satisfied, that those now denied opportunity shall come to enjoy it to the full, that all who yearn for freedom may experience its spiritual blessings. Those who have freedom will understand also its heavy responsibility, that all who are insensitive to the needs of others will learn charity, and that the scourges of poverty, disease, and ignorance will be made disappear from the earth, and that in the goodness of time, all peoples will come to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love.
All peoples of the earth will come to live together in the binding force of peace and mutual respect and love. Peace through mutual respect and love. Even Obama would not talk like that these days because he would be called a screaming, flaming, liberal, commie, pinko. Can you imagine? This Shane says that was the Eisenhower apology tour. There you go. I mean, this is far more. This was a Republican president of the United States, a good and decent man, and this was a man who understood. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of screw-ups during his administration. You know, they overthrew Mossadegh and put the Shah in 1953, for example. And I would be very interested. I'm not an Eisenhower historian. I don't know what role he played in that decision or if the CIA was just playing cowboy. But in any case, here was a man who had seen death on the battlefield. He'd led the invasion of Europe against Hitler. He saw thousands of men, tens of thousands of men. He thought he may have seen hundreds of thousands of people die. He saw civilians die. He saw people die of starvation. He saw people die of disease, the dysentery epidemics that were sweeping Europe during World War II. just death and destruction. And what did he do? What did he do? He came back to the United States, and as president in 1954, you get the cross iron speech there? And as president in 1954, Dwight Eisenhower says, the cost of a heavy bomb, this is the world at war, the cost of a heavy bomber is this many schools or this many barrels of wheat or this many miles of highway. Just listen to this speech that he gave in the middle of his presidency in 1954, Dwight Eisenhower.
Every gun that is made, every warship launched, every rocket fired signifies, in the final sense, a theft.
A theft
from those who hunger and are not fed, those who are cold and are not clothed. This world in arms is not spending money alone. It is spending the sweat of its laborers, the genius of its scientists, the hopes of its children. The cost of one modern heavy bomber is this: a modern brick school in more than 30 cities. It is 2 electric power plants, each serving a town of 60,000 population. It is 2 fine, fully equipped hospitals. It is some 50 miles of concrete pavement. We pay for a single fighter plane with 500,000 bushels of wheat. We pay for a single destroyer with new homes that could have housed more than 8,000 people. This is, I repeat, the best way of life to be found on the road the world has been taking. This is not a way of life at all, in any true sense. Under the cloud of threatening war, it is humanity hanging from a cross of iron.
This is humanity hanging from a cross of iron. Where are the Republicans? Instead, they're telling us that if women get raped, there's nothing to worry about, right? I mean, where are the good Republicans? Anyhow, the election's finally over. Now the work begins. We'll have the latest tomorrow on what's going on with the president, the United States. Conversation with progressive activist Tom Hayden. And don't forget, democracy begins when you